Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm going to give everyone just a few seconds here to join from the waiting room. I think we've got most people here. So I want to introduce our today's presenter as well as the topic here. We have Francesco from Nicos here, and the presentation topic is decision making for clean room projects. So before I get into the presentation, I want to note a few things. First one, this is AIA approved, so you will be receiving 1 credit after today's presentation. If you weren't able to submit your registration number before today's presentation, that will be the first link I will include in the chat. Second one, we will be saving about 10 minutes at the end for questions. Any questions that you have, please drop them in the Q&A. You can also chat them directly to me, and we will get through them at the end of the presentation here. And then the final thing I want to do is show you where to find Nico's group on Acelab. So Francisco, would you mind unsharing your screen real quick? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. This will be the final link I drop in the chat. This is Nico's group brand page on Acelab here. So there's a really great information as well as a great way to get in contact directly with an engineer on the team here. And if we go down, we can see some of their lovely products here. And I'll click on one of them here. So this modular wall panel. As you can see, a lot of really good information here about the specs, dimensions, installation patterns, and then here at the very bottom, some performance data that you can download directly here, as well as some brochures. So I will stop sharing the screen. And Francisco, whenever you are ready, you can reshare and get into today's presentation.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Again, my name is Francesco. I am with Nicos Group. Nicos Group, just very briefly, has been in the business of clean room since 1992. We've been operating in North America. So the experience we are sharing with you is our experience of doing business and building and designing and installing and qualifying clean room system all over America. So I hope that this presentation will give you some thoughtful information about the clean room and how to handle a clean room project. The idea is to help you in understanding what are the decision-making process while handling a clean room project. So just to highlighting what are the questions that the vendor is going to ask you, the designer, your customer, or the question you have to make to your customer when you're doing a clean room. Because there are certain decisions, certain choice that are made based on what you think it is better, and certain decision and certain choices that are made based on what your project require. As you can see, this is the experience is done. We started to build and manufacture clean room system in Europe. We are an Italian company. Our origin is Italian, and this is also the reason for my very strong Italian accent. So this is agenda of something we're going to discuss. And so you know the idea of what we're going to talk. We're going to talk about what is the first choice, then the material, the panels type, the door system you're going to use, the ceiling, the flooring, the certification, and everything you need to decide when you handle a clean room project. The first choice you're going to have it is going to a modular system versus stick built. I I have to say that in the past this was an important decision. Now more and more, for many many reasons, more and more people, more and more customer, more and more clean room have been built using the uh, modular system. Uh, I would say the reason should direct you in one direction versus another are the one that is listed now. I would say the only reason why you should go, or you would have gone in the past, towards the stick build system would have been price. The price was sometime a decision making price, and sometime time ready to do. You call your stick build system, your sheetrock supplier, and you can do something right away. This might be true when for small projects. When are you handling big project? Well, quality is at stake, where you need high quality people working in your room for your rooms. You at this point, with the cost of labor now that is higher and higher, or if you're working in a union environment, now even the price is going to become is going to not to become a reason anymore. And this is the reason why I would say 90% of the quality system we are working worldwide and nationwide are based on the modular clean room, the modular system. Modular system that can be done, consist in different types that we're going to see later. So if price is going to be taken away, there are just what are the advantage that are the fact that you can pre-design much easier in advance using the module. And you do not just customization because you have your installer building the clean room, your sheetrock system around the column, around the business you have in house, around the problem you have in route, but that's something you can pre-design. You are dealing with people that knows how to work in the pharmaceutical or in the environment you want to work with. It is life science, is a semiconductor. This is a system that people knows already. Sometimes in certain area you have sheetrock installers that they know the business. If you go in some remote area of the country, you will deal with people that the day before have built a hotel, a movie theater, or a spa. And this is a system where you need professional people that knows the business, that know what it means to work in. Here is written pharmaceutical, but can be the same if you are in the semiconductor or electronic or medical device system. Modular means easy modification and design during
Hi, hi,
during
Francesco. Francesco, would you mind turning off your video?
yes.
Would you mind turning off your video? I think you're having some internet issues and it might help us hear you better. Perfect. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so easy modification. You have a choice of material, while if you go with stick built, you have only gypsum. Of course, durability. A gypsum wall is easy to scratch, easy to bump, easy to broke. And then you have in general a project management, and I'm talking about us, I'm talking all the company you will work with, and you can work with a company that can work with you in a project management in a professional way, and you are dealing with somebody that is doing modular system for your industry, for the business you are working in a much more professional system. Another is the material choice. And again, this is, of course, we discussed that the stick built, you have only gypsum. Here, There are in the market people that are offering only one solution in terms of material. So you need to be uh, able to either select a supplier that has several alternatives in terms of material. And of course, I'm part of Nicos, and Nicos is one of them. Or understanding what are the advantage of the material you are selecting, because that's the material that is the only type of material that is offered by the supplier. Usually all modular panels are a sandwich type system. Usually all of them have an insulation material. People that to save money, that in the market empty just reinforcement inside. This might humidity the difference created inside condensation, and those getting to the point of grow inside the panel, which is something you don't know. So you have a sandwich panel. You have there will be people, and I'm going to this slide that is going to tell you, look, the only choice you have is UPVC, and that's what we've been doing for 30 years, and that's what has been accepted in our 100 customers, hundred thousands of customers. This is true. There is company that they build their reputation and their business around this type of material, which is a very decent and good material to use. But you need to know that it is not the only choice. You have a selection of skin material. Each of one has a certain advantage, and you have an a selection of insulation material. I would say that now the selection of the insulation material is reduced to at least the first two you see here. Polyurethane, it is going to be less and less used, because as a not there, even if it is enclosed in the panel, is not very much accepted in the building industry. And after what we have read in the news in the day after New Year, I don't think this is going to become a choice anymore for anybody. But still, you will see people offering, there is still people offering this type of insulation, and you need to know, you need to ask, what is the insulation material you're going to select? So I would say that besides the UPVC coated galvanized steel plus aluminum honeycomb, which is kind of the mainstream, you have a very good choice of building a clean room at a little bit lower price with a better insulation material using Rockwool, and with a little bit more flexibility of using galvanized steel. We're going to spend a little bit of time on talking about high pressure laminate. There is other choice that is a little bit less and less popular in the market. It is powder coated aluminum, stainless steel, and then of course we're going to talk about glass. When you talk about a panel, you need to have a possibility, and there are different thickness, which is 1.75 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, even more than that. But these three dimensions are kind of the standard of both European and the North American market. And again, if there is no many reason, there is no reason why you go with a thinner one. All of them have the same stability. Sometimes if you need a walk-on ceiling, maybe it's better with the 2 inches. Sometime for a reason of insulation, for some other reason, because you want to add on some fire rated walls, you may want to go to larger walls. So at the end, in general, what I would suggest as the main direction you want to go with skin, it is the powder coated galvanized steel, and UPVC coated galvanized steel, and its insulation material, rock wool, and aluminum honeycomb. And again, aluminum comb sometimes is selected as the best solution. You have FM certified product. So if you're looking for the product that is not only ASTM approved, which it can be achieved also with polyurethane or with HPL. If you want a UFM approved product, these are the two skin material that you have to go through, you have to go to, and these are the two insulation material you have to go to. High density rock wool, aluminum honeycomb. I talk about high density rock wool because rock wool is a soft material, so you need to make sure, and maybe the density of the rock wool is something you want to make in your specification in order to make sure that for sure, at least on the ceiling panels, if it's going to be walk on, you have enough. You don't feel the softness of the panel. And again, here we have some chart. This presentation is going to be available through Acelab. If you want a PDF, you can connect through Acelab to Fabio or myself, and we will be happy to send you the PDF of this presentation so you can have this for your own use. And you have also the main characteristic has a high flexibility of the paracord seam. The UPVC usually is used because you can do a cold well. So you can create a kind of a chemical seal between panel and panel. This can be seen as an advantage, and in some time it is. But again, this you're going to lose a lot of flexibility in moving and removing the panel later on. The advantage of the galvanized steel, it is a cost effective, and you see some advantage of the stainless steel that say excellent resistant to a clinking agent. Usually, I have to be honest, the stainless steel now is used more just as a term of aesthetic to show that you are using stainless steel, but even in terms of resistance to cleaning agent, paracord steel is, I would say, in most of the cases for the cleaning agent that are used now in the industry are pretty much the same. I want to bring to your attention another material which is very popular in Europe, very popular in Italy, I would say, which is HPL, which is a high pressure laminate, which has the advantage to be scratch resistant. It is the most scratch resistant product that is in the market. It is scratch resistant in the way you can see here in the line. You have a 4 millimeter layer. So even if you stretch it, you are not going to do like what happened in a powder coated or in a UPVC coated panel, when if you scratch away the surface, you put in contact with something that may degrade under cleaning agent. Here you have a surface that is going to be always, unless you go through up to the aluminum honeycomb or the rock wool inside. And so this might be a solution. It is easy to clean, easy to mill. You have a 4 millimeter of material that can be milled down in order to add cut out and create really flush to the wall surfaces when you do with electrical outlet, installing utilities, installing a plate, installing a push plate on the door, whatever you can do, you can mill down and make it fully flush to the surface. And of course, then you have different material and colors available. What is the last point? It is not advisable in a non-humidity control environment. I'm thinking about the Northeast, which is an area that in winter can become very, very dry, and in summer can become very, very wet. This is a laminate, is like a is an alive material, we say, and it may expand and retract because of if the humidity goes below 30%. And if you don't control humidity, or if you may think that during the year the humidity in your room can go below 5%, you might be needed to go and do your recaulking between panels to panels. So this is the reason why this is not always the best solution for the entire geographical situation. If you work in down south, if you work in the Caribbean, if you work in an area where you never go, or if your process never required to go below 30%, this is a material that can be considered. Another option is walls and using glass as a wall. So not only, and then we are going to have few pictures talking about glass in terms of windows and glazing. This is the idea of using the glass as a wall. And the advantage, it is a better illumination, the possibility to use natural light as a way to illuminate the area, which is also very healthy, both for the state of mind of the workers. The glass is scratch free. People tend to be much more attentive if they have a glass wall, even if the tempered glass can be as resistant as a metal wall. And then, of course, it allows room inspection. It allows visitor to see what is going to happen inside in a very nice way, and it allows to let the operator feel that they are controlled and that they are seen from the outside. We have two types, at least as our company, but this is, I would say, that is available in general. One solution is the solution where the glass is really same thickness of the wall system. And this is an example of a corridor where instead of putting windows 3 by 3, they are using to this glass wall to be able to show from the visitor corridor outside what is happening inside. And this glass system, it is the same size, same thickness of the wall, and as you can see in the drawings on the left, it is fully flush to the wall. We have another solution with a cheaper solution where instead of the typical glass with a 3 by 3 and 3 by 3 layers and glass on one side, we are using a half-an-inch glass in the middle with a kind of coving to make it easy to clean and to give the right life science look, and then using a half-an-inch glass, and this is a much less expensive solution. Going back, and again, I would like to maybe to spend some time in talking about other options. This is again a presentation we can share with you. There are the plus or minus. This is a matrix where you can see what are the advantage of one solution versus the other. Here, as you can see, HPL plus Rockwool gets the better grade. The only problem with that is, I mentioned, you need to start from the moment you install the walls and you start to caulk, you need to maintain the humidity. Don't let humidity go lower than 30%. And this is, in some cases, can be a problem. Other cases, I would say this is one of the best solution. As you can see, that get the better grades. Between the powder coated galvanized steel and the powder coated with aluminum honeycomb, then from one and the other, like you can have issue of price. Honeycomb, aluminum honeycomb as an insulation has the advantage of being lighter, so much easier for the operator to install it. Has the disadvantage of providing a lower acoustic and a lower insulation and the price. So As of now, what I personally think after my 30 years of experience with cleanroom, that powder coated galvanized steel with rock wool and glass walls is the two system which you can combine in the same project. That is the best way to go. Of course, UPVC coated, if you have a project where you know that the customer for some reason wants to have cold well, that is the only way to go. Sometime you want to go with liners. You just need to coat an existing brick wall, sheetrock walls, and then you may have also the need to use a liner that you attach to the panel. This is a solution. Sometime it costs less, so this might be a way to go. There is another thing you need to consider and to evaluate when you get a quotation from any supplier. There is a supplier that are providing called non-progressive, so a solution where you can disassemble a panel. I'm showing you the example of our company. We have a rubber profile that can be removed, and then we can move the aluminum profile that is making the connection between panel to panel on one side, and then a single panel can be removed. This is a very easy way to do. It's a system that can be easily put back in place, removing a panel just because the panel got really badly damaged or because you need to do something else. You need to remove a panel without a windows, with a panel with the windows. You may have different reasons. You need to move one or two panels because you need to move in an equipment. So this is the reason why you may want to have a non-progressive way. There is also a progressive way, so you have a male and female solution like this, and this is a less flexible, and you have some cost saving by doing this. So if you evaluate suppliers, something you need to evaluate it is whether the quotation you are receiving, if it is for a progressive or a non-progressive solution. This, of course, costs more. If you see a very high difference in price between one panel and another, you may need to check, for example, this is one, you may need to check about the insulation material they use. You may need to check off, let me go back here, on the thickness of the steel. You may want to check about the rock wool, whether it is in high density, the density they are proposing you for the rock wool. So these are the parameters that are important to evaluate. The people, they say this is a modular panel used in the market. Yes, but you may have to check whether it is progressive, non-progressive, what type of insulation they are using, and what type of system they are using also for coving. Just to give you an example, our company is also proposing rounded corner on the outside on top of the coving on the inside. This is a plus. Sometimes if you go with just a simple square on the outside or a simple L plate on the outside, this may also cost less. So you may need to make a decision. My opinion is going with something a little bit fancier, using rounded corners, using solution where you have something nicer. It gives a signal to the operators that are working in the room. It gives a different type of signal that it tells the operator that they are in the special place. So giving something that has whole rounded corner, that has something, I would call it fancy. And being fancy in a clean room sometimes is not just, again, I'm using this way of saying It's not just to brag about with your friends at the bar that you have a fancier clean room than your friend. It is something that to send a signal to the operator. The operator realize that they are in a special place, and usually the problem of contamination, the problem of not following procedure are done by the operator not acting properly. And the operator are the people that are living the clean room. So building a clean room that also in terms of design, I am talking to architects. Architecture is also a way to sending a message to say something to the people living the space. Here, this message we need to send is the message that they are in a cleanable place where they have to act clean. So designing something that it is clean, it is cleanable, but it also looks clean and cleanable. It gives the signal to operator that they have to act in a different way. Let's talk about doors. Again, you say doors are doors, but even here we have different options. We have the single doors. You need to be know that you have an opening. You don't have to be shy and asking special thing to your supplier. I want a door that is a small leaf and a big leaf. I want a door that is a metal door with a window, metal door only, glass walls, glass walls with opening, automatic opening and automatic closing. And then you have, and this is just a standard door we have, I would say in every house, swing out doors. Opening one side, you can decide whether you open right, you open inside or outside, right or left. But you may have the need that you cannot, you want to reduce the movement of the door inside or outside your room, and sliding it is a solution. Sliding, of course, has the problem of being expensive because if you want an airtight sliding door, it's going to become expensive because it needs to have two movement. The sliding, follow my arrow, right and left to open and close, but then also pushing down towards the gasket if you want an airtight sliding door. And then you don't occupy the space inside the room, but you occupy the space on the side of the room. So you need to have that space. Another solution are roll-up door. There are very good roll-up door in the market by any manufacturer where can be used in a clean room, can it be used. I saw clean roll-up door used in oral solid dosage in very high class ISO 5 rooms, like the one on the left, everything is stainless steel. The advantage of the roll-up door is that you don't occupy any space in any room. It is automatically open and close, and it is airtight. Problem with roll-up doors? Yes. There will be people discussing about the cleanability of the door when it is roll up. So you need to make sure that the part on top, it is fully accessible for cleanup. Another problem you may have with the roll-up door, it is the breakability. So if the customer wants, the fire department wants to use this space also as a way to escape, they may want this door to be easy to break up. And at that point, combining that with the airtightness might be a problem. So you may want to have maybe an emergency door close by. Or convincing your fire department that this can be a breakup and asking the door manufacturer to providing a breakaway, easy to break away door. And there are different type as well. Of course, if you go to warehouse, it goes without saying that this is the way solution. But there are situations where these are used also in a clean room environment. So here is again a table talking about the doors, the interlocking can be available, space efficiency. You need that you have pro and cons in every solution. I would say, my personal opinion, the weaker solution is the sliding because it occupy anyway some space in a different way. It is very difficult to make sure that when it's closed, it maintain air tightness, while you have a very good performance of a swing out door with the guillotine at the bottom, with the drop seal at the bottom, with usually the door with a nice gasket. So this is the air tightness when closed in the swing outdoors. It is very good. And you can have swing outdoors also with automatic operator as well. So you can have both things. The roll-up door has a good advantage that we discussed it before. And again, this is something that you need to be aware when you build. Sometimes you say, I want a sliding door because I want to save space in the airlock, and then you end up in finding out that you have problem, that you're having a sliding door in a clean room environment might be a problem. For example, this is an example of the Nicos swing outdoors, and in order to achieve a perfect air tightness when closed, of course, the doors when is open, there is no there is no any air tightness. When it's closed, and we are using the solution with the double gasket. We have a door, of course, drop seal that close when the door is closed. We have door closer, and then we go to really architectural. And again, we as a supplier have a different solution. We have also solution of a door closer built in the door, so you don't have anything. And that is protrude, or door closer that this is a market available. And usually you just need to make sure, because there is people uh, manufacturing modular clean room system everywhere in the world, overseas, India, China, that mainly my suggestion would be ask to always use accessories that are ready to available. So you can replace the door closer with the one with the same design without the need of going back to your supplier. You go, this is a Dorma or a Gize, you can buy anywhere in North America. You can buy it, you can tell the customer, go to the next dealer of Dorma, and you can have it and replace it yourself without calling your supplier that can be miles away. Also, talking about door, make sure that there is people that knows what it means to talking about air tightness. And also, doors means being able to integrate the door also when there is no the panels that are manufactured by your supplier. We, as working in Cleanroom, in many cases, we were requested because people liked our door, and liked our door when the, the door is, let me go back here, when it's flush to the wall, at least on one side. If we are dealing with walls with different thickness, you may have to be able to build something, and this is what we do. And then, of course, door accessories, you need to be, again, being able to use something first you like it, which is accepted by the market in North America, handle to pull, push plate to push. But there is also some nice handle. This is a handle where you either push or pull, and it opens the door in some cases, maybe not in a very clean room, but in laboratory can be nice. Different type of knobs instead of the handle that can be used on both sides, both to push and so you can be also, in this case, you can be creative. And of course, door accessories. And again, if you're working with people that is providing wall system from overseas, it is good to make sure that the door operator, that the things they are using are ready, they have spare parts and are ready manufactured in North America. Our choice as a company, our wall system are manufactured overseas, but everything that is can have a wearing and need to be serviced in same day time, we are using North American supplier. This is a door operator manufactured by Bisam, for example. We need to supply interlocking, and of course, interlocking now is a very, very important. Now, the best way, suggestion is to ask for a system where each door is dealt as an individual system that you can easily control. If you have multiple door system, it's just a simple PLC, and then you can decide how many doors should be interlocked, which door can be closed when the other is system. If you have a simple airlock, one way that you can go with the old style system. Ceilings, and we have 10 minutes to go, so I try to go a little bit faster now. You have two types. You have the T-grade and you have the seamless, the full panel system. The full panel system has the advantage of being seamless, the advantage that is also built and normally is conceived as a walk-on system, while the T-grade in our cases can be built also as a walk-on system. So the two systems are sometimes, even if the system you see on the right is conceived and thought about a system that is the type of walk-on, both systems can be used as a walk-on and non-walk-on. So the solution is what is the best, my best way to go. The T-grade is a system where you can move easily between lights and HEPAs, and you can decide later on where you want to put your light fixture and your HEPAs. Of course, in a panel system, in a seamless system, you need to have the manufacturing doing the cutout. The system, when you talk about a walk-on ceiling, of course, you need to discuss and evaluate who is going to support the ceiling that is going to support the weight of the operator. Okay, people is providing you at 32, 35 pounds per square foot of ceiling. That's fine, but I'm sorry, but you need to make sure that either there is a mezzanine, there is a structure that is supporting this, or there is maybe just simply beams or an existing roof where this ceiling can be connected. And this is an example of, and this is, for example, is the type of certification we can provide, cutouts, and you may have, you may want to have flexibility of creating pass-through also through the ceiling, the need of the operator to go to access the ceiling to opening. And for example, in our cases, we are using the same door profile that we are for the doors is using also for the hatch for the ceiling. And these are some pictures of Simpson ceiling application. These are T-grade. T-grade can be as nice as the seamless system. You may use it, this is an example where you need to deal with different height. You need to make sure that your supplier, in this case, we have 1, 2, 3 different heights, and you need to make sure to deal, and this is something you may deal during the discussion, qualification, the quoting stage, to be able to verify that your partner, the supplier you are selecting, is able to deal with difficult or challenging situations like those. Flooring, again, you may have the coving. This is an example of PVC coving that goes on top of the ceiling. And you may have also the typical situation where your ceiling is going above. So this is, I would say, the very old style, or the system where you already have an existing floor that is very nice that you don't want to change, or you're going to build a system where you're going to do an epoxy floor that goes up to, and not using any coving at the floor, but using the epoxy that is going to. There are areas, sometimes in the semiconductor, you may not even need to have coving at the floor, and we have also solution where you can use just a C profile to have your panel sitting in the panels. In this case, a floor connection, it might be used to have a system where your floor track, where your panel sits on, that is easy to battle to deal with uneven floor. I would say 95% of the floors I see, nationwide are uneven. So having a system that's an easy system to deal with uneven floor, that is a very good thing. Another solution is a PVC flooring, not that popular again in North America as it is in Europe. But this is a solution, is for a small room. One of the big advantage of the vinyl floor is that you can build it room by room. You don't need to stop everything in your construction like you do when you do epoxy floor for a week, for 2 weeks. Nobody should be around of the trades, only the flooring people. The advantage of using with PVC flooring, they can work together in some cases with other trades. And of course, epoxy flooring, every type of flooring, you need to be sure that the people you're dealing with, of course, if you have a turnkey supply by your clean room vendors, they know where to go. But if you decide, okay, I'm going to buy the walls from these clean room vendors, and then I'm going to do the floor myself, make sure that the flooring people that did your offices might not be good enough for your clean rooms, because you need to deal with a very special craftsmanship to be able to do the coving in a nice way. Usually the certification, the minimum you want to ask is an ASTM certificate for fire control. And what it makes your life easier if everybody's using FM approved or UL solution in terms of a wall system. For the walls, FM is the most popular. You know that the fire marshal that is going to inspect your clean room, if they see that you use FM approved material, they are gonna give you the approval right away. Seismic, it is an issue. You see here, we have our wall tested for seismic as per California standard. This is also something that is a little bit under-evaluated in North America, but I am sure that sometime this is going to become an issue. Using a wall that is seismic certified is important not only to save lives, but also to guarantee that the production can continue. And of course, if you are in a situation where you are building safe, living drugs, this is important. And I don't know if you remember, I think it was 2 years ago that in Taiwan they had a very, very big earthquake, and everybody was really freaking out because there was the concern of having again the supply line of electronic material cut because of the earthquake. But most of the clean room they were built down there has a seismic certified system, which allow them to start working again basically the following week. So being able to continue to work, life saving, of course, it is the most important thing, because sometimes people during an earthquake dies because they try to escape and they die by suffocation just because they are falling down and cannot able to escape, but also being able to continue manufacturing it is a very, very important. I'm going through ISO classification, but this is something, if you work in life science, you're going to go about this. And I think this is one of the life question. This is some in terms of performance question you want to ask based on the process that is going to be performed in the room. We are talking about, we are almost at the end. I don't want to take time from your question and answer. Also, in terms of clean room, this is not really architecture, it's more into the process, but you have different way of dealing with the FFU. I just want to show you the filters. The main solution, it is an air plenum versus a ducted system. So this is a decision you have to make. This is a duct system. You have a terminal, HEPA filters, you have your air handling unit, and you go through a recirculation through HEPA filter. You have a solution where you create fan filter unit, pushing the air in through the rooms and recirculating this way. I would say in North America, this is the most solution, the more popular. I would consider also the solution of the terminal filter as a way to go. Sometimes it's cheaper, less noisy. It is really, I would say 50-50. Flexibility, because we care about flexibility, make sure that you are dealing with a partner that is providing the flexibility you want at every stage of the project. Quoting, being able to deal with changes in change orders, being able to deal with changes during installation, after installation, materials, different solution. Be aware and asking yourself if you have a supplier that is telling you this is the only way to go, don't get anything else, I would start to make some concern. And I'm just want to show you something, some pictures, and then we are ready to go if you have any question.
Thank you, Francesco. We've got a few questions here, and anyone else that has any, feel free to message me or drop them in the Q&A. Once you are done sharing those photos,
I am done. I just want to maybe during the question, you can
perfect.
show this video and people can ask the question they want.
Okay, that sounds good. And you can also share your video again. I think we're okay here while we're answering those questions.
This is a project we did in New Jersey. It's a oil dosage facility.
Okay, so I'll ask that first question, Francisco.
I'm not hearing. Do you hear, Alisa?
I'm not hearing it. It might be disabled right now, but we can see the lovely video.
I'm not hearing the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just waiting for the video to be over. The first question is, can panels be easily disassembled and relocated?
Disassembled and relocated, we go back to the non-progressive system. So they are easy to disassemble. If you want to totally disassemble a room in Nebraska and rebuild it in Tennessee, I would say yes, you can do it. Consider that by disassembling and reassembling, you may lose 20-25% of panel because of damage, because of the space, and so on. This is not something that is designed to be built and rebuilt somewhere else. It can be done, but it's not like Lego, I would say. This is an easy way to build a permanent solution.
Okay.
That can be modified. Maybe if you want to add the walls, you want to enlarge a room, that's something that can be done in an easier and cleaner way than a sheetrock wall, but removing everything and moving away, it is something, but it is something you can do, but you need to consider that the disassembling need to be done by professional people. And even though you're going to do the disassembly by professional people, you're going to lose some part of the material anyway.
Okay. I'm going to go to the next question. What is the difference between your walkable system and competitive products?
Walkable system, it goes by performance. Usually our walkable system is designed to be walk home by two operator, so 35 pounds per square foot. That means in the metric system, 160 kilos per square foot. The idea is it's just performance. You need to ask a certificate that is able to do that. It is a seamless system. It can be done, but we can do that both. I would say our competitive edge, it is we can do guarantee the 35 pound per foot, both on the T grid and on the seamless system.
Okay. Thank you. Next one. How do we choose between HPL, metal, glass, and PVC coated panels for different spaces?
Uh, and again, it is a question of preference. HPL, absolutely, only in area where you don't have issue of low humidity. The other ones, flexibility. If you want UPVC cold well, don't go in a situation where you think you need to maybe remove some panel and put some others, because that is going to be a mess. And again, then I can give you my preference. My preference is the galvanized steel and rock wool inside. The best solution, the best alternative between uh, price and durability and flexibility. But then if you're telling me, oh, I want to have lighter panels for certain reason, aluminum honeycomb. I have a solution. I know that my fire marshal might be a little bit dubious of seeing anything that is not a metallic, and I need to give him only metal material for fire resistance. Go with aluminum honeycomb. If again you are in an area where you know that people may scratch the wall, you want something that's going to stay longer, go with HPL, but then make sure that you are going conditioning the room the way it goes. Glass is a solution where if you want visibility, if you want, you need to pay the price. There is a little bit price other for glass system. So it is a case by case. There are several. I try to explain what are all the options and all the different possibility, but then it is a case by case.
Okay. I think we have time for one more, and then the rest, you can reach out directly to Fabio and Francisco after today. The last one we'll do is how do clean room design decisions affect energy consumption?
Again, the type of insulation, for example, uh, rock wool is a better insulation material than aluminum honeycomb. So that is may affect the energy. You may consider the height of the wall, go as low as possible, because the amount of air is circulated, the more you maintain a lower cubic foot area volume, the lower is going to cost you, and the more you're going to reduce the impact of energy consumption. So glass if you want to replace electrical lighting with natural lighting. So there are several things where you can work in terms of reducing energy consumption.
Okay. And that is all the time we have for questions. Thank you so much for your presentation today, Francesco. I hope everyone learned something. Um, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Okay, and you can reach us. You have our name. You can find Nicos on the website, through our website, through Acelab site. So any question, we will be happy to work, or any project. The best way to start a project is you send us your layout and your requirement, and we can get started.
Okay. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.